Hi guys, and welcome to this new mini video series that I like to call Cobra Commands, and it's very similar along the same lines as Mingles with Jingles, where I talk about some things that have been going on or have gone on in my life. Now, the first video, I'm going to stop it at about the 20-minute mark. So, where do we begin? My first memories I have of gaming in general was probably the Atari 2600. A friend, well, I should say, used to be a friend of mine by the name of Lee Solis, owned an Atari 2600, and he had Cuba, Pac-Man, and a few other games on it. And I remember the following weekend we went to a car boot sale. Now, a car boot sale is kind of like a yard sale, but it's the English equivalent of a yard sale. And there was this huge TV, and I thought, okay, so it's just a TV. Until I saw that there was a keyboard hardwired to this TV, and I was like, what the hell? And I asked the guy, and he goes, oh yeah, that's a Commodore. And I'm like, what can it do? And he goes, oh, you can play video games on it, and, you know, do spreadsheets, stuff like that. And I'm like, alright, cool. How much do you want for it? And the guy wanted £15. And in 1986, I was 6 years old. In 1986, £15 was very fucking expensive. I haggled the guy down to £8. Bugged my mum and dad for the £8. They eventually caved in and got it for me. And the games came on cassette, like actual cassette player. And it was unique, to say the least. I found my local corner store still had a shoebox full of these cassette games that the guy thought he'd never sell, so he sold them all to me. I think there was like 30-something games in there. No copies, no repeats. There was all separate games. Pitfall, Dig Dug, and a few others. Cuba, and a Batman text game. And they're the ones that stand out to me. I paid £5 for the entire shoebox of all these cassettes. And there was even a Doctor Who game in there. Of course, it was a text thing, you know, oh, Cyberman appears, what do you do, you know, sort of thing. And I had that thing for, God, 8-9 years, until 1989, when Nintendo first appeared in Europe. And me and my little brother Ross, we bugged my mum and my dad to get us a Nintendo. And my mum eventually collapsed and gave in. But unbeknownst to us, when me and my brother would go to school, my mum, my Uncle Peter, and my dad would bust out the Nintendo and play Super Mario and Duck Hunt. And we know this because at Christmas of 1989, when we got the Nintendo and we plugged it in, the top high score in Duck Hunt was Ann, P-E-T, and M-I-K. Ann, Pete, and Mick. And we knew exactly what it was. And of course, it took me and my brother about a week to smash them off the top score, and it was fun. And I remember playing things like Fester's Quest, Bart vs. Space Mutants, you know, Mario 2, Mario 3 even. I remember going to Blockbuster. Yes, this is how old I'm aging myself here. Going to Blockbuster and renting Nintendo games before me and my brother decided to start saving up our pocket money to buy it. And then we just migrated from there to the Super Nintendo. And at the same time, I got the Sega. See, this is the thing. My brother was the Nintendo whore. I was the Sega guy. I had the Sega Master System Mark II, the one with Alex the Kid in Wonderworld built into it. Now that was the one without the card slider, so I couldn't use the card. Sega came out with putting cards on what looks like phone SIM chips, and the Generation 2 console didn't have a card reader, but the Generation 1 did. And so I traded my Generation 2 console to a friend of mine who had a Generation 1, because I had a copy of Space Harrier that was on a card, not the cartridge. I also remember getting Mortal Kombat as well. That was 1990. That was just after my father had passed away. And that was fun. You know, of course, it was in black and white. There was practically no color, and all the gore was turned off and everything. And then Mortal Kombat came out on the Super Nintendo, and Mortal Kombat 2, Street Fighter 2. You know, and I gradually, and then I always wondered something was up, because Sega always got the really good games about a year and a half after the Super Nintendo did, and that pissed me off until one day Mortal Kombat 2 came along, and it came out on the Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo at the exact same time, or the Sega Genesis, as you call it here in the United States. And I had a blast. It was the first time I used a 6-button controller on my Sega Mega Drive, and then I came out with the Sega CD and the 32X. And the very first Sega CD game I got was Robot Rumble. And that was a good game. That was a side-scrolling beat-em-up where you played as a giant robot. And if you lost an arm, you could rip an arm off another enemy robot and attach it to yourself and stuff. And the bosses all got like laser guns and missiles. It was a fun game. You can download an emulator of it on websites and stuff. Great memories, great memories. There was one game on the Mega Drive, and for the life of me, I cannot remember it. You play a wizard going through a dungeon, and I can't remember the name of it, and it was driving me nuts. I've been trying to find it for years now to add to my Sega Mega Drive collection, and I can't find it, because I can't remember the game's name. So if anyone who's listening to this or watching this, now remember, this isn't about the video. This is about the audio. So you know, if you want to alt tab out to a different thing while listening to me, that's fine. But I still to this day I can't remember the name of the damn game. And that's when the PlayStation 1 first came out. So we're looking more 1992, 93, almost 94 here. And my friend Danny Shipman got a Philips 3DO. Sorry, he had the CDI, the 3DO, and the PlayStation 1. And he didn't want his 3DO anymore, so he gave me his 3DO. And he had a copy of Super Street Fighter 2 and a few other games. And it's why I prefer fighting games over fighting games and strategy games over most other genres. So games like Warframe suit me because it's strategy and fighting at the same time. But I remember the day he came to school with his copy of Tekken 1. It was on his PlayStation 1, and he comes running up to me and says, "Hey Danny, look what I got." And he was being all really secretive about it. I thought it was a porn mag or something. Turns out he pulls it out, it's a PlayStation 1 game. Brand new, steel sealed, covered in the plastic and everything. And he goes, "I just fucking bought this game, mate. After school, you coming over to my house?" He lived about 2 or 3 blocks away from my school. I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So, went to his house. I ended up having dinner and whatnot. Ended up leaving his house about 9 o'clock at night. And my curfew was 7. So I knew I was already in fucking trouble. I just figured, fuck it, might as well keep playing. We ended up beating that game with all but 3 characters in the first night. And then we read in a magazine. Yeah, you kids are lucky. You guys got Wikipedia. But back then we had magazines like PlayStation Power, Nintendo magazine, things like that. And we read in PlayStation Power and PS1 magazine that if you unlocked all the characters and beat the game with all the characters, the last character you unlock is Heihachi Mishima. And that was it. The gauntlet was laid down. And me and Danny stayed up all night one weekend during, I think it was Easter break. And we finally unlocked Heihachi Mishima, only to find out he was a basic character in Tekken 2. Tekken 2 of all things. Don't even get me started on Tekken 2. That game was a complete... When King started showing he had multiple slams, me and my friend Danny made a point of pride to remember every character's 10-hit combo. And I still to this day remember Bekdo-san's combo, which still, by the way, ironically, is the same 10-hit combo that you need to do in Tekken Tag, Tekken Tag 2, and Tekken vs Street Fighter. So I still remember Bekdo-san's 10-hit combo, along with Law's, Paul's, Kazuya's, Kazuya's is one other, Kings. I don't remember Kings. 10-hit combos. And I got a friend of mine, his name's Ogre, he lives over in Price. He's a big Tekken nut, so every time I'm over there, he throws me a controller and he's like, I'm going to kick your ass finally at Tekken, and I'm like, no, you're not. And he knows the moment if I pick King, Paul, Law, Heihachi, or Kazuya, he knows a 10-hit combo is coming his way. And I've just progressed from there playing games. I first discovered, honestly, technically the Commodore was technically a PC, but I first discovered PC gaming during the whole Voodoo 3D FX era. And so that's 94, same year as PlayStation 1. Because a friend of mine said, oh, I've got Bleen, which is an emulator for the PlayStation, on his PC. And so he was playing Crash Bandicoot and a few other games on his PC, which was just mind-blowing, you know? And he was using a PlayStation 1 controller with a USB adapter that he got from Tandy, which is England and Australia's version of Radio Shack. And so he was playing his Crash Bandicoot and... God, what was it? Crash Bandicoot and Vagrant Story. Yeah, Vagrant Story and Final Fantasy 7 and 8. He was a big, he's a big Square Enix fan. And I kept asking, do you have Tekken? No. Do you have Street Fighter Alpha? Well, yeah, I got this. And he showed me the very first ever 3D Street Fighter I ever played with Street Fighter Alpha. EX Alpha on PlayStation 1. And I begged and pleaded and borrowed. I ended up trading him my copy of Legend of Mana for his Street Fighter Alpha. Now, my friend Michael, he's no longer alive. God rest your soul, Michael. Me and him, we would spend weekends just chilling, hanging out, you know, playing Legend of Mana and Street Fighter. And the very first time we completed Final Fantasy 7, we were crying on the sofa as to the fact that the lead female dies. And you know, so there was that. And you know, and then about that time I joined the Youth Corps in England when it was still around. It's no longer around anymore. I joined the Youth Corps and did my first work experience at Woolwich Arsenal Army Base. And I got my letter of recommendation from Staff Lester, who was my still my staff sergeant when I signed up at 18. He was a career army all the way. And yeah, and I went on to work at the Woolwich Arsenal base in Woolwich. It's where I met my girlfriend Michelle. She and I had a little girl, Molly, who love you, Molly Bear, and we never exactly saw eye to eye after what happened. And so, you know, I live here in the States, she lives in England. But back to gaming. It's little things. I remember when I first found out about the Super Mario 1 portal cheat, where you could jump to World 4 and then do 2 levels in World 4 and then jump to World 8. I remember that. I also remember the whistle from Zelda, do 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 do, and it would take you to a warp world. You do that in Mario 2 and walk straight to World 8. In Super Mario 3, the glitch on the white cloud. If you hold crouch down on the white cloud, you fall into the background, and then there was a cheat you could do there where you could go to a secret hut, which gave you the whistles, and it's those little minor things that I remember, but there are a few games in my lifetime that emotionally threw me through a roller coaster. One of them was Castlevania Symphony of the Night on the PlayStation 1. You play as Alucard, which is Dracula's son, which ironically is Dracula spelled backwards. And for some reason, Victor Belmont had resurrected Dracula. The vampire hunter resurrected the vampire. And as you're going through Dracula's castle, death takes all of your Uber equipment. And it's kind of like a Metroidvania style game, hence the name Metroidvania. And you have to constantly keep going through level maps to get your equipment and stuff back. It's a really fun game. I should stream that on Twitch, just for shits and giggles. What else is there? Symphony of the Night, Final Fantasy VII, Ridge Racer, especially when you're driving against the Devil car or the Angel car, which is a black Lamborghini and a white Ferrari, I believe. What else is there? Gran Turismo. The very first time I played Gran Turismo, I was blown away. The fact that you could buy used cars in Gran Turismo, but you can't do that anymore, which I think is horseradish. What else is there? Street Fighter EX. That was an eye-opener, fighting Garuda for the first time. Battle Arena Toshinden. That was a good game. Star Gladiator. Oh my god, good game. That led into the whole 3D samurai chop-socky fighting games. What else is there? Tenchu. Tenchu, oh my god, Tenchu. That is such a cool PlayStation 1. That's a hidden gem. Twisted Metal series, they're all hidden gems. What else is there? Ooh, you know, there are so many hidden gems that I think I'd go beyond the 20 minutes. But suffice to say, I've been gaming since I was the age of 6, and I'm now 35. So, you know, I've gone through several... I went through the Sega Nintendo wars, and I came out alive. The whole PlayStation Nation versus Xbox. I'm a survivor of that too. But honestly, deep down, I feel that competition is good. It really is, because it pushes you as a person, as a company, as a corporation, as whatever, to continuously keep striving for better things, bigger and better things. But unfortunately, lately a lot of big corporations just want to sell out. Sega being one of them. They eventually sold out, and now they're a multi-platform company that makes really horrible freaking Mario Kart clones and crap. Mario Kart, that's another good little hidden gem. Street Fighter 2 Turbo, that's another good little hidden gem. Metal Marines, another good little hidden gem. Secret of Mana, which is also Legend of Mana in other countries. Final Fantasy Tactics, that's a little hidden gem on the PlayStation 1. Xenosaga, Dino Crisis, Resident Evil. There are so many good games that, yeah, graphically look compared to other games that are out today, look incredibly shit. So, you know, if they ever did a Final Fantasy VII HD remix, you know, a HD facelift, I would buy that in a heartbeat. If they did a Resident Evil 1 graphics enhancement, snap it up in a heartbeat. If they did a... there are so many games my brain is stuck in pause mode. Jeez. There is just so bloody many. Talking about gaming news. World of Tanks 9.5 patch is out. Still buggy as hell, I've noticed. They have updated, they've taken a lot of stuff from XVM and incorporated it into the base game now. So XVM's starting to become an obsolete mod for your game. What else is there? Of course, the the War Thunder ground forces the American tanks are in. I'm currently rank 3 in the Americans now. What else is there? Jeez. Oh, I also got the Mark III Hayabusa. So that's a 20mm cannon Hayabusa. Completely way out tiered. And it's got cannons, let's bump it up against P51s. What about the LA5? That's got cannons. Why the hell doesn't that see P51s? But no, or King Cobras, you know. But no, that ain't gonna happen. Bomber spam is still an issue. So is artillery strike. And seriously, Gaijin, what is up with only spawning in 3 bloody tanks in arcade mode? What the hell is the point in giving us 6, up to 20 plus freaking slots in our lineup if we're only allowed to take 3 fracking tanks in arcade mode? What the fuck? And don't even get me started on this SP system in realistic. That is just stupid beyond fucking stupid. I swear to God, the guys who come up with these patch ideas are just dumb and fucking dumber. I swear to God. I swear to bloody God. Well, looks like we're done here, guys. Hope you enjoyed the first episode of Cobra Commands. And leave your comments, questions. Hit me a like, favorite, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Well, it turns out I've got a few minutes extra here, so I'm going to add them in by letting you guys ask me questions. Just leave a comment to this video with your question, and I will get around to answering it in the next Cobra Commands. So yeah, there's that. And as always, guys, please comment, rate, subscribe, share this video with all your friends, and I will definitely see you all in the next one. Hi guys, and welcome to the Deceptive Cobra's channel. My name is, of course, Danny Deceptive Cobra, and this is a gaming channel dedicated to PC gaming and to console gaming, just to gaming flat out in general. There'll be Twitch stream highlights down below. Of course, if you want to join me on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/DeceptiveCobras. Links will be right here where I'm pointing, or it might be over here or over here. I haven't decided yet. Also, guys, I would like to if you could follow me on Facebook, links will be right here, and if you can follow me on Twitter, again, link will be right here. And I do greatly appreciate it if you just click those little follow buttons. If you click the subscribe button here and the follow button over on Twitch, I do greatly appreciate it. I play games ranging from PC, 8-bit Nintendo, all the way up to the current generation consoles, if and when I get them. But most importantly, I also do hardware reviews. I recently just finished a hardware review of the Cobra 707E Blue headsets. Those are on my pro boards, links right here. And most importantly, guys, welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy it. Just a flat out gaming channel. Excuse the mohawk. And I like to end all of my videos with a stay safe, have fun, keep your shells flying, keep your enemies dying. Cobra Commander is out.